everybody, Marcus with the Idaho Quadcopter channel. Hey, everybody's favorite drone, the little DJI Neo. You know, you want to improve your footage, right? You want to get some good motion blur, you want to eliminate glare, etc. Freewell sent me a couple of filter kits to help with that. You got the standard day 3-pack with the ND filters 8, 16, and 32. So in order to change the shutter speed and get to that 180 rule, so say you're shooting at 30 frames per second, which would be 4K 30 if you're shooting in 4K, you would want to get to 1/60th of a second on your shutter speed, and you got to have manual controls to do that, and you can do that with the RC2. Now they also have the Bright Day 3-pack, and that's the one that I think is going to be more useful to me because it includes a polarizer. So you got the same ND 8, 16, and 32, but you've got a polarizer on there that helps reduce glare. So I'm going to open up the Bright Day 3-pack, and I'm going to show you how it attaches to the little Neo. And then once we're done with that, we'll get it out in the field, and we'll see if we can achieve that 180 rule, and also see what we can do to reduce some glare. And I know just the place, I always get a lot of glare on the ponds out at Kleiner Park. I have a feeling these filters will help me with that a lot. Okay, so we've got it out of the box here, and one of the things that I really like that Freewell does is they always give you a nice jewel case. And then you always also get a good instruction pack that's got a QR code on it that will show you just how to use the filters. So in the envelope you get some decals, and you get some basics here of how to use filters, and then you get, of course, a cleaning cloth and an installation guide. And in this case, I know it's a little bit different than most drones. You actually have to stick a little magnetic device on around the rim of the lens of the Neo. So in the case, you get the filters themselves. You got the 8, the 16, and the 32, and underneath here is the little ring that we're going to stick on the lens cover of the Neo. So I placed the little adapter on top of the box here so you can kind of see it, and they give you 2 of them, which is handy. So you can see there's some double stick tape there. Okay, I'm going to get this set up on my Neo, and then we'll show you what it looks like. So I'm a real fumble-fingered guy, and I was able to get this on here. So I'm kind of moving it around, so hopefully you can see how that fits on the lens of the Neo. It just, you use that double-sided tape. There's only one way that it'll go on there. Well, I guess 2 ways. You could do it a 180, but it's very obvious how it sticks on there. And then that is some metal that allows the magnetic ND filters to stick to. And let's see if we can fit a filter on there. So I suspect I'm going to be using, and I'm sure you're going to be able to see it here, but this is the ND16, and I'm sure that's the one I'm going to be using mostly. So again, it just sticks on top there, and you can then, obviously, if you're adjusting the polarizer for which direction you're going, you can just turn it on the magnet to get that adjustment. So there it is, installed, the Bright Day ND16 filter with polarizer. Okay, now you see the kit and you see how easy it is to install. Let's get it out in the field, and let's test this thing, see if we can get to that 180 rule with the ND filter, and then let's see how well that polarizer reduces glare. Hey, it is a Saturday morning, just barely. It's about 11:30. This is very likely, our weather people tell us that this is going to be the last day of the year that we'll see temperatures in the 60s or so. It's in the 50s right now, but it's a bright sunny day. So basically, essentially, they're telling us this is our last good day till about next March or something like that. So Time to get out and fly, right? Well, I have the DJI Neo. So one of the things I wanted to do was check out the standard day and bright day 3 packs of filters from Freewell. Now, the bright day pack has a polarizer on it, a PL filter, in addition to the ND filter. And that's the one that I'm really interested in today because it's such a bright day. And I'm right next to the pond out here at Kleiner Park. And there's going to be a lot of glare off of the pond today. So I want to show you what you can do with the polarizer on one of these filters. And then also, I'm going to be flying the little Neo with the RC2 controller, so I can go into manual mode and I can adjust the shutter speed. And you're trying to get to the 180 rule. In other words, your shutter speed, you want it to be twice what your frame rate is. Obviously, this little guy shoots in 30 frames, well, when you're in 4K, 30 frames per second. So we'll try to get to a 60th of a second shutter speed. And because it's so bright today, I'm going to put the ND32 with polarizer on here. And we're going to take it out here. We're going to take a look and see about motion blur. I'll be honest with you, with this little drone, I don't know if that's that big of a factor. However, glare is, and that's where a PL filter, a polarizer, will help you. So we're going to try that out. We're going to fly back and forth across the pond here, which, by the way, DJI tells you on their do not fly this guy over water, but I've done it a few times, and so we're going to do it today because we want to show you the glare, and that's the way to do it. So in any case, or the glare reduction, right? We want to be able to show you with the polarizer that we can reduce the amount of glare you see in the video. So first, we'll fly it over just without any filter on it at all, and then we'll put that ND32 PL on there, and we'll see how it looks. So yeah, let's quit messing around. Let's get this bird in the air. Okay, I've got a screen recorder started and the drone fired up. I charged these batteries a few days ago, so you can see it's at 94%. It took it a while. It was on quite a while getting satellites. We've still only got 12 satellites, so I don't know if that's, I don't know what that reason is, but anyway, we got satellites now. Let's go into the safety menu here real quick. Return to home altitude is at 30 meters. You know, I might kick that up about 5 meters, maybe, if I can grab a hold of that. It's weird. Sometimes the touch screen just doesn't comply, but there's 35 meters. Let's go to the, I kept looking for the, at the very top of the safety menu for the obstacle avoidance. Obviously this drone doesn't have it. 120 meters max distance, no limit on distance. Not asking for any calibrations. We can take a quick look at that battery. Cells look good, so we are good to go. And for this first flight, I want to remind you we don't have any kind of filter on there at all. So we're going to see a fair amount of glare, and we're in full auto, but we're shooting in 4K 30. So let's start recording. We are recording, no reason not to take off. Let's do an auto takeoff on the app. This little drone, it flies like any other DJI drone when you're, and I'm going to pick up the action camera so you can see it here. It flies like any other DJI drone when you're flying with the controller. So it's kind of interesting in that regard. So, so yeah, we're going to do, let me, you can see where I'm sitting here on the edge of the pond, dropping the camera down. Let's do our droney. No reason not to. Reversing up now, reverse and up. So hitting hard on that up stick. And you can see where I'm sitting here right at the edge of the pond. And I'm hitting high on the up stick there because I want to make sure I cleared all the trees. And you know, there's some people in the park, so I didn't want to bother anybody. This is a noisy little drone. So that's something that you've got to keep in mind, is that it does make some noise. Okay, so let's quit messing around. Let's get over the pond here at Kleiner Park. This is the big pond, and you're going to see some glare on the water here. we'll see if we can get in the optimal position to see the glare. There's some really nice reflections, isn't there? There we go. Look at that sun. See that glare down there? Let's drop down in altitude, and we're going to look straight into that glare there. Yeah, that's probably as far down as we need to go. Well, let's back it. Let's back the drone up a little bit. Going backwards. We're in normal mode. You know what's funny about this drone is if it you wouldn't know that it is as small as it is, 135 gram drone. You know, just flying it with the controller like this, it just flies like any other DJI drone. Okay, I'm going to pick up the camera, kind of look more straight, so that hopefully, and I'm looking at the drone right now, because I want to get, I'm actually below the level of what the fountain is next to it, so I want to make sure I don't fly into that. I'm going to back it up a little bit here. And when we put the I better point down, because we're not really seeing all the glare with that camera pointed up. So there you see the glare, right? So that is what we see with the with no filter on here at all. Let's move forward, and then we'll turn around and we'll fly the other way. We don't want to bother those ducks over there, so let's turn around and fly back the other way, and we'll see if we see glare on the other side. I'm not sure with the sun at the drone's back, will we see as much glare? And of course we don't. So anyway, let's we'll just fly it back this way. Nice reflection. And I think, you know, when DJI warns you not to fly this drone over water. Oh, see, look, it went into Addy mode. Yeah. Now that's weird. I'm watching the satellites. We had like over 20 satellites there, so I don't know. There's something weird going on today. But at any rate, let's bring the drone back in and land it here. It even said. I'm trying to remember what it said there, but something about home point. But we know where we're at here. Let's drop that camera down, and we'll bring it right over the landing pad. Drop her back down here. You know, I bet I could do a hand landing with it too, huh? What I think is cool about this little drone is, look at that. I mean, we got the drone shadow, so we can just bring it right down on the pad. Let's back it up just a little. There we go. Let's bring it straight down. Let me get the camera pointed so you can see it. Straight down. Landing. And right on the pad. They make these drones so easy. Okay, I've already got the mount on the drone, and let's go ahead and throw that ND32 on the front of it, and we'll get out there and we'll try this again. Okay, so I don't know if you're going to be able to see, but you know, we put that little ring on there, so it's just a magnetic deal, little metal ring. So we just put it on the top of the lens of the little Neo. Okay, I've got the drone fired up, and we're preparing to take off. It says takeoff permitted. Still looking. We got 16 satellites now. Okay, so we should be good to go there. We had a bunch of geese just land right in the middle of the pond in front of me here, so hope they don't decide to take off when I'm flying over the top of it. But let's go ahead and take off, and then we will put the camera in manual mode, and we'll see what we can do to adjust the settings and get to that 180 rule. So I'm going to see if I can do a manual takeoff. I'm going to do both sticks down and in, and that fires up the, yeah, so I just did a manual takeoff. Whoop, the drone just took off on me. I don't know if you saw that or not. That was weird. IMU malfunction, it says. Navigation system error. I'm gonna go grab the drone. That is the weirdest thing I've ever seen happen with a DJI drone. It just took off sideways, and it was taking off. I pulled the stick down, and it hit by this tree right here, landed right here. So no harm, no foul on the drone, but that's odd. I have never seen that kind of an error with a DJI drone. I'm going to, you can see we're down to 3 lights on the battery. I'm going to switch out the battery, and we're going to try this. Let's try it over again here. I don't know. I wonder if that doing a manual takeoff messed it up. I don't know. That was really odd. Anyway, anyway. Oh, and I see my lens is gone too, so I better go see if I can find my ND filter. Wow, you talk about a needle in a haystack. I found it, but it is a small miracle. It was in the grass and the leaves over by that tree. I feel lucky that I found it. So that's something. These are just held on magnetically, and when that drone hit the ground, this thing went flying. So just for the fun of it, I looked at the KP index again to see if that could have affected the satellite connection and so forth. And it's not bad. It's 3.3. So visible satellites 27. So that shouldn't have been an issue. Okay, I'm going to swap out the battery. We'll put a fresh battery in it and we'll try it again. Okay, I want to point out I've got the filter straight up yet. Normally you have to index PL filters, so I've got it with the Freewell on the top, and we'll see how that looks. Okay, I've got a screen recorder going again. Let's take another look at that safety menu just to make sure that it's not asking for any calibrations. Compass is normal. IMU is normal. We should be good to go. Let's go ahead and try and take off. This time I'm going to do an auto takeoff, and we're going to, well, I'm not even going to start recording until we get up in the air and we change it into manual mode on the exposure. So let me turn this around so you can see the drone take off, and we'll see if we have a good takeoff this time. That was really bizarre. So let's hold it down, take off. And that's nice and stable now. When I did that manual takeoff before, let me point the drone up so you can, or the camera up so you can see it. When I took off before, the drone just immediately took off towards that tree you see in the distance there. It was weird. I pulled down on the left stick to get it down and land, and it tumbled and so forth, but I think we're good. So, so let's get some altitude. We already did our droney before, so we don't need to do that again. We'll get a good look at this tree. And let's get it, let me drop the camera down so that we're kind of faced into the sun. Turn around so we're faced into the sun, and we'll set our EV. So this is in full auto right now. Let me drop the camera down. And you know what? I think I even see, in fact, I know I see less glare even in full auto. But let's go ahead and adjust our, like I said, we got an ND32. So we want our shutter speed at a 60th of a second. And you can see our graph on the left-hand side. Let's see if we can change that shutter speed. And we're going to take it out of auto. And why is the ISO is really high, so you know, maybe I don't need a 32 after all. Let's go down to a 60th. Whoops, I was going the wrong way. Let's go down to a 60th right there. And look, that drops our ISO down. So that's probably not ideal. We probably could have done with the ND16. So we'll try that. We'll try an ND16 next. But let's go ahead and you know, we look at our graph there on the left, and it looks like we've got pretty good. I think we're in pretty good shape with regard to. And let me back the drone up here a little bit. We're in pretty good shape with regard to our settings, our shutter speed and our exposure value. And I'm eyeballing the drone, trying to get it roughly the same altitude as what we had before. I can go a little bit lower. And it's moving around a little bit. But let me drop that camera down. So look, you can still see a little bit of glare there. But let's move the drone forward. Let's fly forward. And we'll head towards, like we did, head towards the other fountain out there. We've got some ducks below us. Hopefully they won't take off and fly into the drone. But you can see that glare, but it's definitely reduced. And look at the glare over on the other fountain there. So I'm going to turn the drone around. We'll go back the other way. And of course, with the sun its back, it's going to be better. And boy, look at a bunch of geese just, yeah, hopefully you're going to see them land. Yeah, I'll see that, but those geese, they just landed right there. Wow, that was pretty cool. I'm glad they didn't fly into the drone. They were coming from a different direction, but yeah, that was pretty cool. Okay, let's fly it back this way. And the drone is, you know, whatever was going on with that other manual takeoff I did, it doesn't seem to be affecting the drone now because it's doing just fine. And I'm going to avoid flying over the top of those birds because I don't want them to take off right up into us, into the little drone. It wouldn't hurt the birds, but it would hurt the drone. This little 135-gram drone, they wouldn't even know. Yeah, they would. So let's go ahead and bring it in here and see if we can land it. And I am going to switch to an ND32. You know what I didn't do? I didn't start recording, did I? I need to do that all over again. Okay. There we go. Started recording. Sorry about that. Okay, so what I cut out of here, what you guys didn't see is I forgot to start recording. So we put it in, well, you'll see the part where I put it in manual mode and adjusted the shutter speed to a 60th of a second, and that brought our ISO down to 430. But I think there definitely is a little bit less glare. But what I want to do is switch to, and you see the glare there by the other fountain. What I want to do is switch to an ND16 with the polarizer, and then I'm going to turn the lens 180 degrees from how I have it now. I've got the Freewell marking straight up at the top right now, and we'll turn it the other way and see if that makes a difference. So flying back this direction, and you're not going to see, you know, because the sun's at its back, it's not going to make that big a difference. So anyway, I'm glad that I caught that and got the recording started. Just always something you got to remember. So let's just bring the guy in and land him, and we're going to put the ND16 with polarizer on the drone, and we're going to move the polarization 180 degrees from where it is here. And let's move over here a little bit. Let's put it in cine mode. Move it over a little bit. See if we can get it over the pad. I don't know why I've got it so high. Let's start dropping down. And we'll land it on the pad here. Now, I'm quite sure I could hand land this guy if I wanted to. But this is more of a challenge. A little bit off, aren't I? Okay, we're going to pull that left stick straight down and let's see how we do. Oh, before I do that, I'm going to point the action camera down so you can see it. So we got the action camera pointed at the pad. Left stick straight down. Yeah, I'm a little off, aren't I? Not quite at the center, but we're on the pad. Landing. What's cool about this little drone is it's so small, and when you got a big pad, it's hard to miss. Okie dokie, I am going to, I don't even think I need to turn off the drone because these are magnetic. I think I can just put the ND16 on there without even turning off the drone. Here's the ND16. Yeah, I was able to just pull the 32 right off. Okay, so there you can see, and I indexed it 180 degrees from how I had the ND32 on there. So we'll see if that affects the amount of glare we see off the water. Okay, I learned my lesson. We are going to do an automated takeoff. Oh, we're still recording here. And look at it, brought our ISO down to 100. So look at that's perfect. Well, we'll put it into the sun and we'll see. I forgot to turn off recording, which is not a bad thing. Let's go ahead and take off. And hopefully we'll have a stable takeoff. And there's the drone. I moved the camera up so you can see it. So yeah, I think we're good. I don't know what happened with that. When I did that manual takeoff, it definitely freaked the drone out. So we're down to 46% battery, so I better not mess around here. Oh, I'm in cine mode. Let's put it in normal mode. There it responds a lot better. Got a good look at the tree. And let's move it around. And I look at our graph there, and it's not, usually what you're looking for is you're looking for a mountain in the middle. So I kept calling it the graph. I always forget it's a histogram is what it is. So I'm moving the drone back over the water, and you know what, those birds kind of moved to the side, so that's good. And I'm still seeing some glare. Yeah, you know what, I'll be honest with you. Let me drop the drone down. I want to get it down. Oh boy, I'm right over those geese. I don't want to do that. Let's get a little bit lower and pick that camera up just slightly here so you can see better. I think there's more glare with this way. So let's move forward here. We're going to avoid those other geese there and get over by the other fountain. Yeah, I think there's more glare. I turned at 180 and we got some ducks taking off. Let's just stop right there. Don't want to bother those ducks, but yeah. So I think there's more glare this way, honestly. But again, our shutter speed, we got that 180 rule. Our shutter speed is at a 60th, and I notice as I turn around here, it's the auto ISO is cranking up a little bit. And I'll be honest with you, it looks a little overexposed to me when I'm looking this way. Boy, we got so many birds out here. I definitely want to avoid them. Let's grab some more altitude, I think is what we're going to do. And we are down to 29% battery. This guy's going to go into return to home here in a second. So got some more altitude. Let's run this direction. I'll tell you, I'm going to swap in another battery, and this kind of gives you a better look at the glare on the water. Let's land this thing. I'm going to slap another battery in it, and I'm going to switch it around 180, and we'll just compare apples to apples with this ND16. So here we go, bringing her home. You know, it's weird, that initial problem I had with the drone, you know, we had a situation where we had where it went into ADI mode on my first flight with it, and then we had that situation, and what was weird is when it went into ADI mode, it still had plenty of satellites. That was strange. Okay, we should be right in the center of the pad here, left stick straight down. We're in normal mode. Ooh, I better turn the camera so you can see it. I want you to see this good landing. Straight down on the left stick. And goes into landing mode, and boom. Well, we're a little bit off the circle. Okay, I am going to stop recording. Well, no point in that. I'm going to leave it recording. And I'm just going to pick it up, and I'm going to turn that polarizer 180 degrees. So you can see where I've got the Freewell's on the bottom. I'm going to turn the Freewell to the top. And because it's magnetic, you just can spin it on the mount. So there we got the Freewell at the top. So let's take off again, and let's see how that looks. So yeah, you know what? Our histogram even looks a little bit better there. Oh, 19% battery. No, I need to stop recording. I need to swap out a battery. Swapped out the battery, and it looks like we've got satellites again, so we should be good to go. I'm going to start recording before I forget, but you can see at the bottom there, and we're in manual mode, 160th is our shutter speed and ISO 100. Let's start recording. And the histogram looks pretty good. Let's do an automated takeoff. And I'm going to see if I can pick up the action camera so you can see it, and you can. Okay, let's go ahead and go straight up. And let's go back out over the water here, and we'll see how that glare looks. Like I said, we switched it around 180 degrees, so that should help. Dropping that camera down so you can see. And you know what? I think it did make a difference. There's definitely still some glare there, but I don't think it's as intense as it was. So you do have to index those PL filters. Let's drop some altitude here. I want to get in basically the same position I was. We got a lot of waterfowl on the pond here, so I'm a little nervous if they took off into the drone. It wouldn't hurt them, but that little 135-gram drone would be toast. But let's go forward here, and there's still glare. And of course, I'm just looking at the FPV feed. But I think it looks better this way with the Freewell at the top. Although, I don't know, you know, you're looking there, there's still a pretty fair amount of glare there. Let's do something. Let's point this camera straight down. And yeah, look, I can see the drone shadow in there. It thinks we're trying to land. Now, we better go up a little bit. I don't want it to think we're trying to land. Okay, let's turn around. I don't trust myself. I'm going to pick that camera back up. I want to be able to see exactly what the drone's seeing and what direction we're going. And boy, look at all these geese. Yeah, let's go this way. All right, let's point the camera down and see if you can see into the water a little bit. And we kind of can. Bringing the drone back this way. So, I mean, I think it definitely looks better. I don't, you know, it's not as dramatic as what I'd hoped it would be, to be honest with you. So I think we've done all we can do there. Let's just go on a little flyabout with the drone here and kind of show you. It's a beautiful day today. And again, this is ND16, and we've got that 180 rule going here. So our shutter speed is twice what our frame rate is. I'm going to kind of fly by these trees, and we'll see if we can see some motion blur there. You should be able to see some motion blur as we go by these trees. Look on the edges there. It's hard for me to tell just looking at the FPV screen, but that's what an ND filter primarily does for you, is gets that natural looking motion blur. You know, when your own eyes, yeah, here's some dangerous trees. These ones that already have the leaves gone, those are the ones that you'll go right into a branch. So let's see. Let's look down as we go over the top of this tree. And well, I want to make sure I'm clearing the top of it. Discretion is the better part of valor, right? Okay, as soon as I know that I've cleared the top of this guy, and we are, let's just go over it. I'm going to go over and back a couple times. And let's go backwards. And you should see some motion blur in those branches. That's probably a good demonstration right there. It's hard for me to tell, again, looking at the just looking at the FPV feed on the controller, but that's what you're looking for. Alrighty, let's see how much we got. 68% battery. We got plenty of battery. Look, the fishermen are all out here. kind of an interesting interesting day with this drone today. That was weird having that. I mean, I guess that was a flyaway. I don't think you could talk about it any other way. When I took off there, it just headed to the drone's left, and I have no idea why. I did a manual takeoff. I don't know if that had anything to do with it or not. We had satellites. We had, I don't know, everything was ready to go. So let's just go right over the top of this tree here and see what we can see. See if you can see some motion blur there. Nice to see the colors in these trees. And we're maintaining, I'm pretty happy we're maintaining that, that 180 rule. Had that camera a little bit high there. Where our, again, our shutter speed is twice what our frame rate is. You notice when I saw that naked tree, I grabbed some altitude. When I can see the leaves, it's one thing. What you're going to miss is the little branches. All righty, let's go one more time across the pond with this guy, and we'll look at some more glare and see how it looks. And you see that sun, the reflection of the sun. It's definitely an improvement over without the filter on there at all. But honestly, I think it looked better when I had the filter turned the other direction, 180 degrees off. There's more glare here. Anyway, let's quit messing around. Let's put this guy into return to home and bring her back. So hitting that return to home now, doing it on the app. Return to home. And let's see how accurate it is. I like that this little drone, they're giving us the augmented reality green line. I just think that's awesome. And I'm looking at its home point, and it's kind of in the middle of the water there. Maybe it'll move when it gets over the tree here. I have a feeling I'm going to be pausing this thing. In fact, I can tell you with certainty I am going to pause.
Landing.
Yeah, do you see it's right over the tree? Yeah. Let's move it over a little bit. Okay, let's pick up that gimbal. I was moving it there, and it didn't want to move with that gimbal pointed straight down. That was weird. You know, yeah, so this makes me feel a little better. It looked like it was right in the middle of the tree before, and we're up there 33 meters high, which seems like it's really high on this drone. As soon as we get it down lower here, we'll put it in cine mode, and we'll bring it in here. Maybe we'll see if we can do a hand landing. Let me bring it down here. Drone is behind me. Let's turn around, see if I can bring it in, and I'll stick my hand underneath it and see if we can get a hand landing. See if I can maneuver it in front of me here. Make sure that we can see it on the action camera. And I want to just see if it even in the controller mode, if it does the same thing. So I'm going to stick my hand under it.
Landing.
And look at that. It did exactly that. Okay, let me stop recording here. Let me get everything shut down, and we'll do a quick conclusion. Hey, okay, the little DJI Neo, this drone is just a barrel full of fun. I think we proved a couple things here. One, make sure you buy the extra battery pack combo. I don't know if they call it the Fly More combo. I don't know, let me look at the box. They call it the combo bundle. And in the US, that's all we get is the extra batteries. I think in other parts of the world, the combo includes a controller. But that's okay, because I'd rather use the RC2 controller anyway. If I understand correctly, the RC2 controller is the only one that you can put the camera in manual mode and manually change your shutter speed, ISO, etc. So that's what we did, and it's a really bright day today. And we showed a couple things. I initially put an ND32 on there. That was too much. Put an ND16 on there, and we were able to perfectly get to that 180 rule of the shutter speed twice what your frame rate is. So with regard to the glare on the water, I think definitely when we had this thing indexed with the Freewell on the bottom and the ND on the top, I think it reduced the glare some more. But that's what a polarizer does for you. And you do have to index them. You have to move that thing around. And with this magnetic mount, that's really pretty easy to do. And I did it without even shutting off the drone. Had a couple weird anomalies with the drone. That was just bizarre. At one point, we were over the water and it went into ATTI mode. We still had plenty of satellites. Don't know why. It was just for just a second. And the drone was very stable. Drone didn't do anything weird. But that was odd. But the really odd thing is when I took off again that second time after putting the filter on there, and I did a manual takeoff, both sticks down and in, and then up on the left stick, and the drone just took off. It started going to the drone's left, and I just had to pull down on the stick. And I'm going to turn around and show you the tree. The tree right there, it hit kind of right at the, not the base of the tree, but the base of the cutout there in the grass. And it didn't hurt the drone at all. It just tumbled a little bit. It wasn't going that fast or anything else. Plus, this is a pretty robust little frame here. However, the ND filter went flying. I got it back to the table here, no ND filter, so I had to go over there and search around on my hands and knees, but I did find it. So that is something to keep in mind. The way this magnetic thing works is that filter could, in that kind of a situation, could go flying. So that's our test of the Bright Day 3-pack and the Standard Day 3-pack of the Freewell filters. Thank you to Freewell. Freewell sent me these filters for a review, so I want to thank them for that. This is Marcus Crawford with the Idaho Quadcopter channel out. And if you like this kind of content, please consider subscribing to my channel. Most of all, I really appreciate you taking the time to look at this video. And of course, we will see you on the next one. The little DJI Neo, fun little drone, and yeah, the Freewell filters, ND filters with polarizer. See you guys later. Bye.